proven tractor technology, unsurpassed performance, reliability you can depend on. The White American 60 and 80 tractors are the result of years of agricultural experience and technology. However, before delivery of this high-performance piece of machinery can be made, the dealership must first meet certain stringent conditions agreed upon with the company. These conditions include extensive pre-delivery service and owner orientation. Also, the White New Idea Farm Equipment Company Dealer Satisfaction Report must be promptly completed and returned to the Director of Quality Control. The pre-delivery services assure your customer that this newly purchased tractor is ready for field operation. The operator orientation offers your customer a chance to become familiar with the vehicle and for the dealer to answer any questions concerning continued service and maintenance. Over the next few minutes, we'll take you through a complete service check of the White American 60 and 80 tractors. Refer back to your operator's manual pre-delivery checklist and the specification sheet included. Your dealership's first responsibility is to report all serial numbers to White New Idea's warranty department. This will establish a warranty for your customer. In addition to the tractor model and serial number, there are serial numbers provided for the following: engine, optional power shift, and accessories such as the white farm loader. Before any pre-delivery service can be started, the dealership must record all serial numbers. Serial numbers are stamped on metal plates or directly into the housing. Tractor model and serial numbers are located here. The engine serial number is attached to the timing gear housing in front of the injection pump. If the White American Series tractor comes equipped with a 3-speed power shift transmission, that serial number is stamped directly into the housing near the breather filler. And if the tractor has been equipped with a white farm loader, the serial number is on the inside of the left-hand boom arm. Also record the serial number on the power front axle. Pre-delivery service work should start in the engine area on the left-hand side of the tractor. Begin by removing the hood side panels and screens. Check to be certain that all drain plugs are securely tightened. The engine crankcase pan has 2 drain plugs, one located in the center left-hand side, and the second located toward the front center left-hand side. Next, check the engine oil level. The engine oil fill tube is located on the left side of the engine. The tractor is shipped with 10W30 CD oil. Do not use oil of a lower grade than that which is recommended for normal operation. Also remember to check the operator's manual for the engine break-in procedure requirements during the first 20 hours of use and the need to change oil and filters after the break-in period. If the tractor is equipped with the optional 3-speed power shift, check the transmission fluid level. If the fluid level is low, remove the breather filler cap and add transmission hydraulic fluid with a flex spout funnel. Do not overfill. High fluid levels will cause this unit to operate at dangerously high temperatures. Next, check the battery located under the step cover. Unlatch and remove the cover. Remove the battery caps and visually check the electrolyte level in all cells. If the level is low, add electrolyte. Then reinstall the caps. Be certain that the battery cable ends are securely tightened. Then reinstall the cover on the step. Next, measure the free travel in the clutch. Clutch free travel should be at least 1 inch. Should the free travel not be within specifications, adjustment is accomplished at this linkage. First, loosen the jam nut on the yoke. Then remove the pin and turn the rod to change the free travel. Reattach the rod to the lever and check free travel again. When free travel is correct, reinstall the cotter pin into the cross pin and tighten the lock nut. The fuel tank should be approximately half full and the tank valve in the full open position. Fuel filters are located here. They should be hand tight. The primary filter is the longer of the two and has a water trap built into the bottom. Open the drain to allow any accumulated water to flow out. The drain point for the coolant system is here. The drain should be hand tight. If the engine is hot, a quarter turn to release pressure is required before removing the radiator cap. Inspect the coolant level. It should be about 3/4 of an inch below the bottom of the filler neck. Use an antifreeze tester to check freeze level of the coolant solution. Remove the air cleaner end cap and then the primary filter element. Inspect the filter for damage, paying particular attention to the end gasket. Then check the secondary element to be certain it is in place and tight. Reinstall the primary element and end cap. While the screened air inlet is open, check the clamps on the hydraulic system cooler lines. Do not reinstall the screen at this time. At the right-hand side, check the clamps on all hoses connecting the air cleaner to the engine. If your White American 60 or 80 tractor has a 3-speed power shift, be sure to check the cooler hose clamps. Check the clamps on the coolant hose from the lower radiator fitting to the inlet fitting on the engine. Also check the upper radiator hose clamps. Check the engine oil filter and make sure it is hand tight. Then check the auxiliary power shift filter to be certain that it is tight. It only needs to be hand tight. At the rear of the tractor, check the fluid level of the transmission hydraulic system. The 3-point hitch must be in the down position. Grease the fittings on the 3-point hitch. The power takeoff shield must be in place with the warning information in view before delivery to your customer. If the tractor is 2-wheel drive, remove the hubcaps and make sure the wheel bearings have been packed with grease. Then replace the caps. The front wheel bolts should be tightened to 120 foot-pounds. Tires are overinflated at the factory for shipping purposes. Reduce to the pressure recommended in the operator's manual. Remember that a loader mounted on the tractor will require higher pressure. Turn the wheels to the straight-ahead position. Check the toe in by measuring the distance between outside edges of a common tire rib at the front at hub height. First, measure the distance in the same way at the rear of the tire. Rotate the wheels 1/2 turn and repeat the measurements. Average the measurements for front and rear. Measurements should be 3/16 of an inch less at the front than at the rear. To adjust toe-in, loosen the lock nuts at the inner end of the tie rods. Then remove the clamp bolts at the outer end of the tie rods. Then rotate the tie rods as necessary to gain proper adjustment. Make equal adjustments to each tie rod. Tighten clamp bolts and lock nuts. Then recheck the toe-in. Use multi-purpose grease to lubricate the spindles. Remember, you are filling a cavity, so apply an adequate quantity. Also lubricate the following places: pivot bushings, pitman shaft, and the tie rods at both ends. If the tractor has a power front axle, check the drain plug for tightness. Fluid level must be checked in the differential and planetary sections of the front axle. The differential section is checked by removing this plug. Fluid level should be up to the bottom of the plug opening. To check the fluid level of the planetaries, rotate the wheel hub until the words oil level are horizontal. Remove the filler test plug. Fluid level should be at the bottom of the filler test plug opening. Should additional fluid be needed, use 80-90 multi-purpose gear lubricant for both the differential and planetary sections. Torque wheel to hub nuts to 250 foot-pounds. To check toe-in adjustment on the power front axle, turn the wheels to the straight-ahead position. Measure the distance between the two front tires at the rear. Mark the location where the measurement was made with a chalk. Then measure the height. Now roll the tractor back until the mark on the tire is at the same height at the front as it was at the rear. Measure the front distance. Both measurements should be the same or zero toe-in. If toe-in is not correct, loosen the clamp at the inner end of the tie rod and adjust. Make equal adjustments to each tie rod. Torque the rear wheel axle hub U-clamps to 250 foot-pounds. Wheel to hub nuts are to be tightened to 140 foot-pounds, both for the pressed steel or cast wheels. Clamps for demountable rims on cast wheels should have a final torque of 140 foot-pounds. Tighten clamp nuts, rotating around the wheel to prevent stretching the rim out of round. Tighten clamp retaining nuts a quarter of a turn at a time. Inspect lighting systems to be certain that all are in working order, and refer to the operator's manual for each level of lighting and optional systems. Check brake pedal travel. Depress the brake pedals. There should be 3.5 inches of pedal travel before resistance is felt. Both pedals should meet resistance at the same point. Minor brake adjustment is accomplished by adjusting the rod and nut at the brake lever. Refer to the operations manual for final brake adjustment procedure. Check throttle resistance, and if adjustment is needed, lever tension is changed here. When checking the 3-point hitch lever, it must have enough resistance to retain its position. Adjustment is made with this friction nut. Move the power takeoff lever to the engage position. It should return to neutral position when the engine is not running. Move the hydraulic levers. They actuate spring-centered valves in the raise and lower positions. When the levers are released, they should return to neutral. With the float position lockouts turned forward, the valve should go into the detent float position. Check the instrument panel to be certain the electrical system warning and engine oil pressure lights are on. Place an exhaust ventilator over the exhaust pipe. Be certain that the transmission is in neutral and the brake lock lever is engaged. The clutch pedal must be depressed to complete the starter circuit. The tractor should be started to make running checks and do a brief break-in. Attach the power takeoff dynamometer for initial break-in and power check. The engine and power systems need to be warming up for about 3 minutes. The tractor should be operated at 18 to 1900 RPM with about half power load applied to the engine for 10 minutes. Then unload the dynamometer and increase engine RPM to full throttle. The engine should be operating at 2350 RPM. Apply dynamometer load to approximately 3/4 power level and operate for 15 minutes. Increase the load to 90 to 95% and allow it to operate for at least 45 minutes to 1 hour. Increase the load on the dynamometer to 100%. Check PTO horsepower of the tractor. PTO speed at rated engine RPM is 550 for the 540 RPM shaft and 994 for the 1000 RPM shaft. Unload the dynamometer, reduce speed to low idle, and allow the engine to cool down. Stop engine before proceeding with further checks. After unhooking and separating the tractor from the dynamometer, restart the engine and cycle the 3-point hitch. Stop the control lever at the extreme raised position. Lift one of the three-point arms at its hitch point. It should have at least 1 1/2 inches of free travel. To adjust for proper free travel, loosen this jam nut and turn the threaded linkage rod until correction is made. Caution: do not make adjustments while the engine is running. Inspect the tractor for leakage at all points where fluid is present. Drive the tractor and apply the differential lock. Apply either or both of the brake pedals to disengage the differential lock. If the differential lock doesn't engage or disengage, fault may be at the switches. Refer to the operator's manual for adjustment procedures. Replace all sheet metal and screen panels previously removed. Before delivery, the rollover protection structure must be in place. The white American 60 or 80 tractor that has been purchased must be delivered in clean condition. The last operation in pre-delivery is to give the tractor a final wash. A designated person in your dealership must review safe operation, maintenance, and warranty policy with your customer about his new tractor. The white American 60 and the white American 80 series tractors. Proven technology, proven performance, reliability you can depend on. From White Farm Equipment,